What's up, everybody? Live from Tokyo, it's Nobody Asked Us with Des and Kara, presented by Brooks Running. We're all just discussing before we start recording the madness on the track last night in both the women's steeple and the men's 1500.
The conversation before the conversation.
The conversation before the conversation. This track meet has lived up to madness. I feel like that should be the title of the Tokyo World Championships.
Yeah.
Just madness.
I mean, it's like bracket busters. Every race. You're like, what just happened? You can't win that. March Madness.
I know.
But make it track.
It's been super interesting. So many of these races have gotten tactical. And so it's interesting. The women's distance events so far have been predictable.
Sure.
Right? It's like
Beatrice Chibet. Right. Stand out.
Yeah. But the men's have been upsets across the board.
A lot of depth on the men's. Do you think that's it? Like across all the events? Is it just more depth so it's less predictable?
Yeah. You know, I think I wrote something down last night because I didn't want to sell the men's 1500 short because a lot of the big stars weren't in it. And it's something about like, it's not for a lack of depth. It's just a lack of predictability. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know.
I think it is the depth, right? Because it's just, you can't pick one person, you pick the field.
Right.
And there's just so many guys who are, it's just about a little bit of luck involved and the margin for error is just minuscule.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Well, I think that we really want to nerd out on the men's 15.
Yeah.
But let's give the women's steeple its due first.
Fine.
Right before we go live on the steeple, everyone at NBC always goes, okay, Kara, we know you didn't actually run this race and you're insecure, but go crush it. It's like an inside joke. I'm always like, thanks,
have fun
guys.
With that. Yeah.
But I never ran a steeple and you never ran a steeple.
No, not for me.
But it was cool. The only country that had 3 athletes through was the Americans. Mm-hmm. Total new, fresh crop of athletes. And it was good to see them get their feet wet.
What did you think of the pace out of the gates? Like, tell me about the conditions, because I felt like last night was unreal. Like every night's been warm, but like last night was like chewy.
It was,
like,
yes,
you could feel it.
So I think like maybe the second night it was real heavy, but this was the night of the men's 10 was pretty heavy. This was somehow worse. Like everybody, we're standing with all of the other TV broadcast teams, and everybody is complaining. Like none of us are running or racing or throwing or jumping. But you just walked in and it was oppressive. It felt like air was actually like wet air is pushing you down.
Yeah,
it was craziness.
This is what it's like to be waterboarded.
And like we say, it doesn't really matter in a 1500 or 3000, but it's the warm up. It's the staying hydrated throughout the warm-up. It's the staying hydrated. You know what I mean? It's like maybe you don't feel it in that 1500, that 3000, but you certainly felt it warming up. You're probably more dehydrated than normal.
It's also the rounds, right?
Yeah,
like you're doing this twice and it's a huge effort, and now you got to be prepared and recovered, but also here's another element that you're not quite prepared for.
Right. I mean, it was so oppressive. And I always talk to Otto about this, and he's like, the sprinters don't care.
Sure.
They like being warm.
In general.
But then he was like, this is even warm.
Yeah.
Like he lives in Florida. He loves the heat. And he's like, this is excessive. So it's just, it makes me think about all the incredible Japanese marathoners. And I'm like, well, yeah, if you can survive running in this and like training in this, you're going to be like,
that's what I'm telling myself about this entire training block that I've been gutting
You're
through.
Turning into an unbeatable.
No, I'm like, dude, I'm just a slug. I should give up, like cancel the race. Hopefully, but when I go home, I'm hoping for free fitness, which is what you get, right?
You're gonna
like
You're going to go home and be like,
poor man's
what?
altitude.
It feels so easy. Yes,
right.
I love that term. I taught it to Cole.
So they go out. It's pretty hot. Did you think, given... Go ahead.
You kind of called it because you asked me on the pod a couple weeks ago, do you think we'll see new world records? And I was like, no. And you said maybe women's steeple. I don't know if you remember that. And so that's been a nugget in my head. And they went out at world record pace.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, so I think Ruth Chemutai has had a ton of success at the Olympics. She won in Tokyo. She's the first Ugandan female medalist ever in any sport. She was silver in Paris, but she hasn't had the same success at world champs. She's never made the podium. And I thought this is a good strategy for her. Like, draw it out because it's going to get down to her, Yavi, probably Faith Chirotich, and like she guarantees a bronze or something. But everybody went with her. And so it worked, but it didn't.
We talked about this in one of the episodes recently. It was like separate the contenders from the pretenders. It was like immediate. There was 2 packs. It was like, okay, this is
it's like
just
we're
have some
running
fun
at
out
44
there.
pace.
Yeah, and we're trying
to run a like normal, really hard world championship effort.
But even the chase pack, that second pack, like the Americans were in there. I was like, well, they're on a 9 flat.
Yeah,
like it just looked crazy. Looked slow because the front
the
was
visual
so
was
hot.
wild.
Yeah,
because the front was so hot. So they were, we have a researcher, Kevin Sailors, who is giving me every time we get a split, he's telling me the projected pace, which is super helpful to give context. So they slowed down a little bit, but then it was kind of when they caught Chemutai and started to come around her, it slowed a little, but then you knew it was going to gather and that someone was going to kick. So it ended up being super fast. It wasn't a world record, but it was super fast.
It was quick.
But so became like basically a race of, there was like 7, but really just 4. Like it was like 4, a tiny group, and then 3 other women. I don't even remember who they are because that's how my brain works. I don't have the capacity. But it was basically Chemutai, Faith Chirotich of Kenya, Winford Yavi, who is the reigning defending champion, and Nora Gerudo, who won in 2022. Okay. And so it became this pack of 4 women, all the favorites that we thought were going to be there.
Yeah.
And then Chemutai like caught her foot a little bit and stumbled. She was leading. She stumbled off a barrier. And I don't know if that shook her confidence or what. Like you could see she looked like frustrated in her face and everyone kind of came around her. And then on the next barrier, she went down.
Yeah.
And so I didn't realize how serious it was because when I'm calling races, I am only looking at the front. And as soon as she went down, I'm like, okay, she's down, she's out, not my problem. Yeah.
Yeah, she's off
But
the screen.
you were watching, so you can tell us a little bit more of what you saw.
Yeah, I mean, it was chaos. The front was like, they looked great. They were doing their thing. They were separating themselves and looked like fluid and in control. But it was like once people fell off, they were just struggling to stay composed, get over barriers, stay on their feet. And it was so fitting because it was like a Japanese game show where someone is like putting crazy things in the way. And then like they would fall in the way. Pow! Oh no! Like, I probably can't say that, but like, like a noise would come in. But like you can hear the announcers doing the show or like a thing comes through and like whacks them into the water. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Exactly,
and it was like watching
wacky stuff. Yeah.
And it was like watching that. It was because people were just eating it, but that early pace was so crazy.
Yep.
And I think like everyone committed to it and was like, okay, I'm gonna put myself right on the edge. And the fatigue in the steeple, like you start to dip your toe just a little bit and the form goes, and like
that's where the danger
like
comes,
the most
right?
basic thing, like the barriers don't move, and like, but they don't move,
right?
So you see a lot of spills. And yeah, I mean, I saw it as the fatigue of that early pace just kind of catching up to people. So it was madness on the back half of the race. Is what I'm saying.
Can I tell you something that
Always.
I don't get it, and I need to ask Emma Coburn and Courtney Frericks about this. So in 2017, when Emma and Courtney went 1-2 at the World Champs, someone did like a study. I think some people in Britain like broke down this study of how did they win, how did they beat all of these amazing, because Kenyan had kind of a stranglehold of the event. How did they beat all of these athletes? And they talked about their water jumps and how they were gaining momentum and time on every water jump and that it added up over the race. All 4 top women hurdled the water barrier.
Oh, no way.
And so we went in and zoomed in on it. But I didn't have a good comparison because I was like, but look at this person who's getting all this. But no one was doing that. And how are these women running so fast? And also, how are they not saying, oh, you know what I should do? I should like push off of this and get further.
Right.
It's
I just
crazy.
think they're so fast on the flat. Like you could probably put them in the 5 and the 15 and they would be very, very competitive.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much time is spent on the form in general. Like you have still the double leg going over.
Oh yeah.
And
Yavi
that cannot be effective.
Yeah,
that's not efficient. Right. You're like, you're just so fast on the flat that it doesn't matter.
It's blowing my mind. And Winford Yavi or Faith Chirotich, give me a call. I don't know how to do it, but I will put you in touch with people who do, because Yavi's been within 1 second of the world record twice, and I'm like, that's it.
I
right
know how to
there.
fix this.
Yeah.
I know where to find the time for you.
Just one water jump.
Yeah.
You got it. Okay, so you saw the chaos and the falling
It
off.
was epic.
And you saw
They were like peeling him off the track.
okay, so yes. So I don't
The
have
people
an
in the
update.
water pit, not the woman who fell
Okay.
and was injured. And that was like the most incredible medical care
Yeah,
ever.
tell us about that because I didn't see it.
Like 15 people ran out. They literally went, every person like went in there and scooped her up off the track and moved her out of the way because she was down for the count. And like, you know, she was conscious. She was kind of moving around, but it was obviously in a spot where they were coming over the barrier and didn't necessarily see her. So it was like, get her out of the way as soon as possible. And then they brought I think they were like, we haven't used any of this equipment, this meat, which
we
is
are
great.
ready.
So let's just test it all. And then we can keep it at the facility because we can't return it. Right. So they opened everything up and used it all. So it looked like, I was like, oh my gosh, and there hasn't been an update, and maybe it was pretty crazy, but in the immediate aftermath, like she rolled around a little bit and she looked frustrated, but then it like, with the number of people that went out there, I was like, oh, this makes me a little nervous.
See, I was shocked that she got taken on a stretcher because when I saw her went down, she looked frustrated and annoyed. But I didn't get an update, and I'm hoping that just means that they were just overly cautious.
Yeah.
Because last year when Germa went down, there was constant updates going around. So hopefully she's okay. But that took the race down to 3.
Right. That'll do it.
So it was Yavi, Faith Chirodich, and Nora Gerudo, and with I'm like my brain is so fried, but I think with about a lap and a half to go, Yavi started pushing, and she broke Nora Gerudo, and Faith Chirodich was like a couple strides behind her, but the gap wasn't widening.
Yeah.
And I read all these articles leading into it by all of these papers, all these Kenyan papers, and they were all talking about why Faith Chirodich was going to upset Yavi. So I had all these quotes, and it made me look like a freaking genius.
Yes.
Because on paper, there was no reason for Faith Chirodich to beat Yavi. But she just stuck in there. And she went by Yavi basically. She came up alongside her and basically like went by her on the water jump, like came out of the water quicker. And it was like Yavi just folded.
She read the paper.
Yeah, she did. She was like, I'm doing what they said. And Yavi, it's kind of like she relented. It was interesting.
Yeah.
So there's never been a 2-time winner in the women's steeplechase ever. And Gerudo and Yavi had a chance to make history. Yeah, I was shocked by hearing
it fun,
that.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it's a young person's event for sure.
Yeah. So Chirodich becomes the youngest champion. I don't even know who was third. Was it Gerudo?
I was watching the chaos in the water pit.
I have no idea. I swear I'm good at my job.
I mean, that was yesterday. Today's today. You have new people to think about.
It's like now we have the men's 15. Like, dump it out, move on.
Paul's announcing that anyways.
Yeah, Paul closes it out and takes it to commercial, and I'm already thinking about the next thing. So I don't even remember who was third. But I know that the American women, I know that Angelina Napoleon was the first American at 9th. And I really like this new crew. None of them had run at a world championships before. So Kaylee Mitchell, Napoleon, and Lexi Halliday. And I know that visually we're back further, but also I feel like that's where the American women started. And then they just kept going back and getting more experience and believing. And like we saw that with Cooper. I want to say his name right. I said it wrong on air. Lutkenhouse. No, is it right? I don't know. Dang it.
Mike Peck, is that right?
It's like with like a putt in golf. So Lutkenhouse. And I think I said Lukenhouse. It doesn't matter. It does. Sorry, Cooper. Anyway, I feel like it's
I'm sure you'll get an email.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't think he cares. I think it's the same thing where you go in with like super good intentions and you run really fast, but it's just a different ball game.
Yeah.
And there are a few people who nail it right away, but most people need to go feel the call room, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like go through the whole thing, understand what it's like. And then when you go back the next time, you're way more prepared for what's about to happen. So I thought they did great. And I'm excited to see that was a young team.
They did do well, and they fought the whole time. And I think that was kind of one of the fun parts of watching the chaos that was going on is they were taking advantage of just going by the people who were feeling the pace from the early effort. And
Right.
it was like they obviously ran what they needed to run. It was fine that they split, but then they had the carrots to kind of chase down, and they did, which was great. So good experience.
Good experience. Okay, I'm just going to stop to say hi to Adam and Colt, who are going to join us live. They're driving home from weightlifting. Okay, anyway, moving on.
Okay.
Okay, should we dive into this men's 1500?
I think we should.
Okay. Did you have a prediction of what you thought would happen?
I did. I
Ooh,
thought
okay.
it was gonna. I think we talked about this yesterday. I just thought it was gonna kind of go how Prefontaine went last year, and I thought Josh would take it from 400, 600 out and just stretch it so that it wasn't completely a kicker's race. Like just get the jump on everyone, create the little gap, and then I felt like he was going to be strong enough to hold them off. That was, I mean, maybe a little wishful thinking. But I think that he's looked great this year, and we all know he's ready for championship season. Like that is his thing. So, and I don't know what you can say about folks, but when he looked like he was ready, like fitness wise, he's super lean. Like you just look ready to go, and that was all there. So that was my prediction. I expected Jake Whiteman to have a good one.
Yeah.
What about you? What were you thinking?
So we did it we had time to kill at the top of the show, and I did a prediction analysis, which I said this is the hardest one for me to predict ever. This has usually been really predictable. Like the result isn't predictable, but the way it's going to unfold is predictable. But I also agreed. I thought that Josh Kerr would try to drive from before 400 out, and that the biggest challenge for him would be shaking Laros and making sure that he had taken enough out of him.
Sting out, yeah.
But I said, it's been just I just keep thinking back to the men's 10,000. It's it really depends on what happens here. And there isn't a person in the race who we know loves to front run.
Right.
And so then it just I really would love to talk to Josh or Niels, because I wonder, coming into this championship, every other year you never know what the result's going to be, but you know what you have to be ready for.
Right.
You have to be ready for a race that the gun goes off and you're committed from the moment the gun goes off, and it's going to be fast, and you're probably going to have to PR just to stay in it, let alone kick to try to win it. And what is it like after years and years of knowing that that's what it's going to be like, to show up and be like, I have no idea how this is going to go. Right.
Like new level of nerves. There has to be, right?
Yeah.
It's just
and
so
how do you
unpredictable.
change your training, and how do you approach the race? I'm sure that Josh had a moment where he was planning on taking it, but he had that obviously in Budapest too, but it's just a lot more thinking and a lot more strategy that goes into it.
Even with that, if you don't have an Ingebrigtsen pushing the first 800, the first 1200, do you have to extend more in that? Do you know what I mean? It changes what you're working with when you start to kick. It's not okay, this is what I've done in the past. It's the same thing. I was you went through 1200 2.5 seconds slower. It's not the same thing.
It's not the same thing. So I'd be curious to hear from their perspective of maybe when the season's over, they'll chat about knowing that it was going to be different for the first time. And so, I mean, basically since Doha, since Chariot started this trend, they've known, okay, it's going to be an all out effort from the gun, and I just have to hang in there as long as possible. So I just was like, this is going to be a fascinating race. You know what I mean? I kind of thought that Josh would take it and try to do a long drive. And I thought that Laros would try to stay with him and try to see what he could do over the last 120. But that's not what happened.
No.
So I always like to watch the men come out and do strides. And I was looking at Josh because obviously he's our homeboy. We want him to win. And I like all of his quotes, and I like how much he shares, and I like that he talks about the little things. He had this quote about, some of the British media was asking him, everyone is so good, why do you think you're better? And he's like, I'm winning the 1%. It's a psychological advantage. And if you follow his YouTube, he is so dedicated to these little things, right? So I'm watching him and I'm thinking, this is his night. He just looks so good and powerful. And then they line up and they get off the line, and he immediately goes to the back. And at first I liked this because I'm like, he's on the rail. He knows there's going to be a big move later. And so he's just going to make sure he's not running any extra steps necessary. I mean, I don't know if you remember, but when Jake Whiteman won in 2022, everyone broke it down. How did he beat Ingebrigtsen? It was like how much time he stayed on the rail compared to other people and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, oh, he's running a good, clean race,
Right.
sitting back there and out of trouble. But I will say,
It didn't feel like that for long.
I will
right?
say, like, once they came through, you know, about 60 seconds, I was like, I actually hate his positioning
Right.
now because
You're
there's
so
people
stuck.
He is stuck. There's
Yeah.
people on the right of him, in front of him, and he's going to have to actually stop. Like, either someone needs to move
Yeah.
and that'll break it up. And kind of that's what's happened. I can't remember who moved. And I said, this is good for Josh Kerr. This is going to open this up so he can get out. And then all of a sudden,
Right.
he didn't look like himself.
Right.
I don't remember who started pushing. Do you? I mean,
don't
like, this literally just happened. My brain is dead, but it doesn't really, I mean, it matters, but someone started pushing, not hard,
Right.
but just kind of,
It was
I think
Chariot.
it was Waitman.
I think it was Chariot.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
It was one of those two. Went and just started pushing a little bit more. And I thought, well, this is good. Cause
So
this is
just
going to
string out
Yeah,
and
it'll string
create a little
out
bit of
and he won't have
space.
to like chop his stride so much to get out
Right.
and around everybody. But
Yeah, I mean, I think that like in hindsight, looking at it, you wonder how he was feeling going in. Did he know he had a problem? Like you're saying, his stride. Like if you're doing aggressive strides, I don't know. You're not like it doesn't seem like you're guarding something, but at the same time, you still have to be ready to get off the line and go hard. So
yeah, I
but-
was worried because he fell in the semi.
yeah,
And it didn't look like a quote unquote bad fall, but he was caught off guard by it.
yeah,
You know, and it's the next day when you start to feel like, oh man, I did actually hurt my shoulder
Right.
or my knee or my calf or whatever it might be. But that's why I was like watching him like a hawk when he came out on the track. And I was like,
it's fine.
he looks great. Like he
Yeah.
has the most powerful stride of any 1500 meter run I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it was like, so
Yeah, I mean, I think the early decision making I thought was not characteristic, you know, and it did seem like he was in a interesting spot that wasn't super productive, and it was going to take a lot more work, and it just didn't seem like. And it was early in the race, but it didn't seem like it was aggressive or like running to win. It looked more like running to preserve and
Right.
like protect. You know, it had a different feel to it.
yeah. Well, then he starts limping. I thought maybe he stepped on the rail or someone like spiked him from
Right.
behind. And honestly, I thought he was going to drop out
Yeah.
because it was like, I mean, he was like running so hard, grimacing and like limping so badly. And I thought, well, okay, whatever happened, he's trying to let it shake out. But he just kept going and it was clear it wasn't shaking out. So
But there was this moment, right? Like he kind of ran a little bit, looked like trying to figure out what is this? Is it
Yes,
like hamstring?
yes.
Is it calf? Is it foot? Did he step on the rail? Did he break his foot? And he like kind of shook it out. Like, is this a cramp? You know?
Right.
And he shook it out, and then he gathered himself for like 100 meters or something, and almost like started closing back to
Yep.
the group. And you know, I mean, it shows you how tough and committed and how important this is to him. Because it was like, I don't know, I'm like, I just have to
Right.
throw everything at this. And like, I think if it becomes an extended injury, you look at that moment and it's like, well, he cared like so much and maybe it cost him down the line. But when you're on the track and you're just been working for a year, like you could see that effort. It's like, I'm not going to quit. And,
Yeah.
And he didn't, he closed it up a little bit and then he, you know, kind of limped it in, but it was like, he wasn't going to step off.
yeah, I mean, he was obviously in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Like I was surprised that he finished because again, I'm just focused on what's happening in the front. He fades back a little bit. The race is concluded. We're talking about what happened and he comes in and I was like, wow. I mean, like that had to take a big hit to the pride, a big hit to the ego, like to do that on such a big stage and to finish. I thought that said a lot about him. Like he finished what he started and he had to be in so much pain. I mean, he was
Yeah.
barely putting that foot down. He was like hopping on his
Yeah.
left foot across the line.
Well, yeah, I saw it and was like, oh, he broke his foot. Which I guess our update, the little that we do know is that it's calf. And I think, you know, that's all we know. But the rest that's Josh's story to tell and his
Right.
information to give when he's ready.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in the moment you're like, oh, that's a broken foot or like
Yeah.
that's a
It's
torn
something not
Achilles,
good.
right? Because there's the whole walk up to the call or the media room, the mixed zone or whatever, and it's like a big set of stairs, and the marathoners are like, "Are you kidding me?"
Right.
And Josh had it even worse. I don't think he could get up the stairs.
Yeah.
Is what they were saying.
Yeah.
So.
I actually saw him like coming out of the stadium. And I just felt so bad for him. Like, it's one thing to like go and lose.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
like get in there and you're like, hey, they ran a smarter race than me. I put everything into it. It stings and I have to go back and like reevaluate. It's another thing to not be
it's a
able
missed
to
opportunity.
Yeah,
like
well,
I just
and
didn't
just
get
to
it.
like not get to have your shot,
Right. Well,
so
I think what's crazy is that's this entire 1,500 meters for
Yes.
the men's this year.
Yeah.
Like look across the board of the guys who have won, who are running super fast, have records. They're all like, they've like all just been snipered, taken out of this event one by one. It feels like there's something larger at play. But I got to say, maybe he didn't drop out. Maybe all the equipment was being used for the steeple, and they're like, "Sir, you got to get the stretchers occupied. We opened all the gear. We don't have any.
we actually can't help you. So you just need to finish. Yeah, no. Well, like big props to him because that was. I hate it when something bad happens like that. But then I am like, that was really impressive.
Yeah.
I want to be impressed because you won or you got a medal, but I'm actually like super impressed because it would have been super easy to step off and be like, clearly I am
That's
not
like
well.
grit and character, not like excellence.
Character,
in
I like that.
Athleticism.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's different things that are impressive.
Well,
all right, we'll talk about the front. Tell
the
us
race
what you
progressed.
did see.
Well, it's funny because I can't remember when everything happened, but I do remember with a lap to go, I felt like Jake Whiteman. I was like, holy crap, he might pull this off. But I also thought that Laros was in perfect position. Only 20 years old. It's his third senior global championship. He's won everything this year. I think he is undefeated.
Yeah, was.
And I thought he's in perfect position. And they went along the backstretch and everyone's kind of like getting ready for position. And Laros wasn't trapped anywhere.
Right.
And I thought, it's going to come. And then they came around the back bend. I'm like, it's going to come. And then visually as they're running in, I was like, oh my God, Jake Whiteman, who said, I'm not trying to become who I was anymore. It's too much pressure. I'm just happy to be here. I just want to see how far I can go, is going to win this.
Yeah.
This would be like the greatest comeback story of all time. And then it was like Laros just didn't have any gear left. And it was like he, Chariot, and Jake Whiteman were visibly like leaning back.
Yeah.
And we're next to the
Bear
BBC.
with the piano is
and
there.
The BBC is like, like so loud, like into my mic. And then you just see Nader on the outside, the only human with forward momentum.
I mean, he
at it.
didn't really see him in the picture until like the last 40.
No, like we go to Paul's like, how did he win that? And I'm like, I don't know.
We're gonna need to see the replay.
I literally did not see him the entire time.
We were sitting opposite side of the finish line, and I was like, oh, Whiteman won. That's sick. Like, this is a shitty situation, but this is Whiteman won. That's a great story for the night. That'll make me feel a little bit better.
Yeah. So
not that I have favorites. But.
Right. Well, I've seen Isaac Nader's name in my notes for years, but it's always like in the prelims or the semis. And it was just really reminiscent of the 10K of you guys left it late in tactical. And as we said earlier, when we were talking about the 10K, sometimes you have to separate. This is a super harsh word because he's the world champion. So he's obviously not a pretender, but sometimes you have to make this move to separate the contenders from the pretenders, and you leave it open. And someone like that's like, turns out I'm fresh. I didn't run 3:27 this year. I didn't do all those other things. Yeah. And he came in and he's the world champion.
Just played into his strengths, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is surprising though. I mean, where did Laros finish and what do you think happened there?
He was fifth.
Did he say anything
Reynolds
afterwards?
Chariot was third, which I thought was really great for him because he's shown a lot of talent, but he's kind of like a sporadic racer. So it's like he finally nailed it when it mattered. Timothy Chariot was fourth, which I thought was impressive. He's been around forever. And then Laros was right behind him. I didn't hear any interviews from him. He didn't really do any media throughout the rounds. Right. He was like, I'll talk to everybody after.
Focus for,
he looked flat. I don't know what else to say. And
wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah.
We have some intel on this.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Break it down.
Okay, so
Give us
Chris
the
and
dirt.
I, so the first round was in the morning, and Chris and I went and watched it, and then we went for a run after, and we see there's a training group, and it's Timothy Chariot, Niels Laros, and Nielsen. I can't remember his first name. My brain's fried. Stefan, maybe. They're a training group. They all train together, and they blow by Chris and I. And I'm like, wow, I'm like really out of the game because that's their cool down, like that's
What
cool
is that
down
pace?
pace. Yeah. But then, we're just looping and they're flying by us. But then they just keep going and keep going. And then we see there's a person like with a watch and they're slowing down and they're starting up and there's a person making content. And then it,
For the
Chris and
gram.
I were like, what are they doing?
Right.
Like the semi's tomorrow. Like one of those guys Nielsen didn't get out of the semi. We're like, what's happening right now? Like, you guys have to race again tomorrow. And so then I was thinking, well, sometimes you've sat around for a while and the first round like blows the rust out, but you just want to do a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I'm going to look at Chris right now. Like we thought they did at least 3K of work, right? Or more than that. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Chris thought they did 8K of work. I mean, they were just running, and then it slowed down for a little bit. And then we both saw it pop up on Instagram because there was a guy like getting
Yeah.
content while they were doing it. And so
Too much, right?
I'm just like,
In the
I made the
conditions-
comment while it happened. I said, you're not gaining anything at this point.
Right.
You're potentially like hurting yourself from recovery. And I go, you know what Josh Kerr's doing? He's like in an ice bath back at the hotel drinking a protein drink right now. Like
That's
he's
it.
already
That's all you need to
recovered
do.
and thinking about tomorrow because the work is already done. Like this is such an American term, but the hay's in the barn, right? Like all the work is done. Everything's there. All you can do is
Right.
kind of mess it up.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
And some people, I don't know. I mean, whatever, if that's part of the plan and it shakes things out, but that's a lot of work.
It was a lot.
It
and
was
it was
not-
hot.
it was the middle of the
That was the
day.
women's marathon.
Yes.
So it was after the first, it was probably within 20 minutes of the women's marathon winner finishing. It was hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess in the past it was like, oh, there might be racing after the world championship. And I guess maybe.
No,
if
there's
you're-
nothing.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
then if you were thinking ahead, like, oh, there's a Diamond League final or I want to win Fifth Ave or whatever it was, like maybe you do that. But still, it's like, what's your priority here? Like it
Right.
should be the world championship. Now this is it.
Right.
So that to me is just, it's strange.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if there was some cost to that.
Yeah. It also makes me wonder about like we've become so obsessed with times and the diamond, like who ran 327 this year. Adrian Hobbs from France ran 327 earlier this year. Okay. He didn't get out of the first round. Koech
Knocked out.
was like also ran yesterday. No offense, but it wasn't a factor. And it's just sort of like, what is the goal of the year?
Right.
And I think this championship is going to get people to go home and reevaluate, like, what is the goal of the year? If my goal of the year is to go to Diamond League and run 3 or 4 and run wicked fast, that's fine. But unless I'm going to go rabbit the world championship, there's no guarantee that that's what's actually going to get me a medal or a win.
Right.
You know?
Do you think the goal will be Grand Slam?
I did think about the Grand Slam curse yesterday. I was
I
like,
know.
it's still sniping people out
know.
there.
I think we've talked about this before too, where there's been so many championships back to back to back
Yes.
to back, and I think you're seeing that as well because all of the athletes that like failed to make the final, or Josh, who's had some unfortunate like in the final, have been in a number of those championships, and it's a lot to have that type
Yeah.
of focus for that many years in a row.
Honestly, I don't think that that's what hurt him.
Yeah.
He is so good at not getting caught up in early season stuff.
Yeah.
But still, that mentality. And we've talked about this for years. 5 years in a row of championship
a lot.
is so much. And I saw Elise Cranny in the 10,000 afterwards. She was like super despondent in her interview. And she's like, I've been doing everything right. I don't understand. And they were like, well, World Cross is in the U.S. this year. Are you going to do World
Leave her
Cross?
alone.
Like, it's in December. And she's like, honestly, I need a break.
I want
I want to run the 1500 and I want to
ultimate
no.
ultimate world championships.
But I think like, and she's made every team too. It's like we're asking a lot of these athletes, and
Yeah.
now we have this I think NBC just secured the rights for it. So this amazing Ultimate World Championship next year. But I think there needs to be a down cycle where we're asking too much of the athletes. There's no athlete that's had 5 championships in a row except for this generation. And it's a lot. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And I think the other thing is it's on the athletes to build their schedules out for the way it's going to make sense and like to prioritize what's the biggest thing. And like guys like Josh do that really, really well. And he's always ready at championship season. And that's why he was in the final. You know?
Right.
So it can be done, but sometimes you have to leave some other things behind. It comes at a little bit of a cost.
That's the thing is you have to decide like what you want, right? Like, do you want to run fast throughout the year or get a bunch of money, or do you want to be a contender at the championships? And I guess that has to be your own choice. But if you've made choices to make money and run fast throughout the year and you're not ready at the championships, I don't want to see your tears.
Love
that's
that.
a choice you made.
Fair.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Let's just quick preview for distance-ish stuff left. All that's left is the men's and women's 800 and 5,000. So do you want to go super high level men's 5,000?
Sure.
Their first round is tomorrow.
Okay.
I think. I'm excited to see if Ingebrigtsen can get into the final. I think that would be awesome just for him. I'm really hoping that the American men get through. Nico and Grant probably are hoping that they're going to get in the final and run it a little differently. I mean, Nico said, we should have gone with 600 to go, but I looked around and Grant wasn't moving, so I just decided to wait. So I think that's like a big, hard pill to swallow and learning moment for him. Obviously, Cole Hawker wants to make that final.
Yes,
he's going to be probably a little sloppy in the first round, just like making sure he's never in trouble.
Yeah. I mean, that'll be interesting because he has the 15s on his legs. He's had a little bit of extra time, but also if he's too racy the entire, you know what I mean, that's comes at a cost.
Right. And there's only one day of rest in between.
Right. So, I mean, he can want it and it can be a revenge tour, but he also still has to stay smart and patient and do the things that makes Cole.
Right.
Which you got to trust in that still and not get too rattled by a DQ. But also don't get stuck on the rail.
I know. Oh man. Okay, so that's the men's.
Yep.
I'm really excited about the women's. I feel like this is obviously I'm excited for the Americans, but I'm very excited about the front race because I think it could be one of the best we've ever seen. I feel like Faith Kipyegon at the Olympics, she ran the 5,000 and so did Beatrice Gibet. And I wonder if in that final 200 meters, she decided not to go to the well because she had the first round of the 15 the next morning. And the 15 is her race. That's her thing. And now the 15 is done and she won it. And I think I'm not saying I don't think Beatrice Gibet will win, but I think Faith might be in it, might fight back a little bit more than we saw in Paris.
She's got that nothing to lose mentality, which is
there's nothing
insane for someone of her ability to be like, let's just send it.
Right.
Like nothing to lose here.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
And then you have Gudas, a guy who will hopefully run her race differently if she wants a medal, because it's going to be really hard to outkick Nadia Battocletti from Italy, who's become
the real deal.
She's
right there.
In Paris, I did not know who she was.
Trying to figure out how to win
gold. She got
gold.
fourth in the 5,000. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, that is good. And then she came back in the 10,000, got a silver. And I was like, what? And then she did it again in the 10,000 here. And word is she's in better 5,000 meter shape. So
okay,
I think that's going to be an incredible race. And I don't think it'll be left super light like we've been seeing with these men's races. I think there'll be a move at least 5 laps out to separate. And then there'll probably be some gathering, but that last lap is going to be amazing.
Will any Americans stick their neck out, and what type of strategy would favor them? Where could they be factors?
I do think that if it's strategic, it's very good for Shelby Houlihan. We've all seen her kick. I don't know what kind of shape Shelby's in. Shelby has been in 1420 shape before. Right. This year she's been in mid to high 1440 shape, which is so good, but not good enough here. Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised if she's in better shape than that.
Sure.
If I'm Josette Andrews, I'm going with everything.
Yeah, she's run that fast. She's done it.
Go
She's
with
been
everything.
there.
You have nothing to lose.
Right.
It's like, go for it. Or if I was her, I would just be like, I'm covering every move until I either
medal or
blow
bust.
up. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Until I blow up her medal.
Right.
And then Elise Cranny is such a like just savvy racer, but she does seem tired. She seemed really defeated after that 10,000. So I'm hoping that like her parents are here. They're all really close. I'm hoping that they've pumped her up because Josette and Shelby don't have anything that Elise doesn't have.
Right.
I mean, Elise has run under 4 minutes in the 1500. So
I feel like she also just doesn't like the 10,000.
I
think she's
feel like
kind
she
of
hates it. She's like, why am I good at this?
She's an Eeyore when she runs the 10.
Yeah, I know. She's like just running it because I'm amazing at it.
Right.
Yeah. So I think the 5,000 suits her better and just mentally suits her better.
Yes.
So I hope that if Josette or Shelby stick their nose in it, that Elise just goes right with them because.
Yeah. I mean, I think having that U.S. company where it's like, this is the team and I can beat these guys. I've been here. I know how to run with them.
Yeah.
It just builds confidence as you go and you have that company each lap.
Totally.
All right.
Okay. High level men's 8. The semis are tonight. Brazier is still in it.
Looks great.
He looked so good. He was telling this story afterwards of Mike Smith in February told him to like go to a track and run 6x200 and he couldn't find a track. He'd been living in Florida for like years and he's like, I don't even
thought about
I don't
track.
even know where I can go to a track. Yeah. So he had to like push the workout back a day while he found a track. He looks great. What I like about his interviews is at USA's, he was more, and he is still grateful, but he's more like, I'm just grateful to be here. I don't know what I have in my body. And now he's like, every time I've gone out and run, the goalpost has shifted and shifted and shifted. And now I'm here to compete.
It's cool that it has, and he has these big goals, but I don't feel like, and this is dangerous, I don't feel that sense of attachment that I have to have it.
Totally.
Like I'm grasping onto this thing.
Totally.
It's just like, yeah, I want it.
Yeah.
But I've seen life without and I'm
like,
okay.
He's super happy.
And that's
he's
that's
fulfilled.
so freeing and like that's a dangerous place for someone to be.
I agree.
Like he's gonna be a killer.
And then Hoppel was saying in his interviews that he went to some of the, and also Brazier was saying he couldn't get into Diamond Leagues after USA.
I saw that.
And I'm like, wow, that was a miss. And then, but Hoppel did. And he said it's been a balancing act of, it's like you go over the Diamond League and they set it up at world record pace every time.
Right.
Well, you got to rest and sharpen up to do that. But like, I still want to be good at world champs.
Right.
So he said he took some lumps in Europe with the hopes that it would pay off here. So I'm excited to see how he does. And then of course, when Yanni and Arope,
Looking good.
Looking good.
Yeah.
Looking easy. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite? I mean, you know what? We got to wait until the final.
Let's wait. Let's see what happens in the semis
Sniper is
tonight.
out there.
Yeah.
And the Grand Slam sniper is out there. And there's just too many things in the universe.
There's too much happening. Yeah. Okay. And then the women's 8 first round is tonight. And our American team, I believe, is all first timers too. Sage Hurdeklecker, Roisin Willis, and who am I forgetting?
We do this every time.
God.
There's always one 800-meter person that we're like,
can somebody look it up? I'm not ending without knowing who it is. Oh, Maggie Congdon.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, she's so young.
She's so young. And she's focused on the 1500 so much.
Right.
And then she shifted to the 8 this year.
What a crazy shift, right?
And you could see it in the semi at USA's the way she closed, that there was so much left in the tank. So I'm excited to see a new group. And then all of the veterans are back on the women's side. There's like 4 or 5 women that are running really well this year. Keely Hodgkinson seems to be.
Is it Keely's to lose? It's too soon to say.
I mean, Dugma hasn't lost yet this year, but they haven't faced each other. Keely's run the fastest.
Mm-hmm. She's the freshest.
She's the freshest. I weirdly like Georgia Hunter Bell.
Okay.
She's such
that decision to be in the 8 is like, that's a statement.
Like she comes, it's like the race starts and you're like, oh, she's out of it. And then with 300 to go, you're like, oh, well, she is moving a little bit. And then on the home stretch, you're like, damn, she might win this, you know? Yeah. So
she's the Beamish of the 8.
Yeah. And she's really leaned into it. So I like her. And then there's a Swiss woman too, that just has been dropping time like crazy. But we've also seen here that dropping time doesn't necessarily translate to running well in a world
Tactical
final. So
and savvy. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how does Keely win it? Do you think she just goes to the front right away and tries to run away with it?
I think she is the faith of the group. But
is that your pick?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I haven't dug in too deep, and I would like to see how they look in the rounds. But
totally.
like if I were just going by on paper,
Yeah, I think so too. But we'll learn more as the rounds go on. But
yeah,
there you go.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we forgot to do a ketone shout out. That's okay. We can plug it in on another episode.
Well, we're doing it right now.
Okay. Do you want to? I don't have one. I need one.
Mine are all saved for the
I'm
nighttime.
out of sorts today. I need a nap before I have a ketone. My watch has 1 hour and 51 minutes of sleep time last night. So I'm gonna need some energy today.
All right. That's all right.
Yeah.
Gotta have some fun while you're here.
I got up to run.
Oh, you got your run in this morning?
Got my run in this morning.
Wow.
Without coffee or anything. I was like, why do I feel out of sorts? And I was like, I haven't had any coffee today. So
Wow,
I really
good for
do
you.
need a ketone.
You need a ketone bad.
I
and
need some mental
coffee.
clarity. I'm out of it.
Well, you did a good job holding this down.
Thank you.
Way to go.
I'm a pro.
I will say, everybody, let's like a little applause for you keeping up your training while you're here.
Thank you.
It's super impressive.
No,
It
it's
is
terrible out there.
so
It's terrible out there.
hot out
Don't
there.
do it. Get out of shape.
I've been running, like this morning I ran 3 miles
Nice.
and that's what I've been doing almost every day. And it's like, I feel like
And
it was a marathon.
You have to wear a shirt.
Yes.
You
the
know, like
police
you can't be out
officers-
in your sports bra, which would be amazing. But you have to wear the
No,
shirt.
I've been running with Trey some and the police officers will come and tell
put
him to
it
put his
on.
shirt on.
But Brooks has a number of really great tanks that are holding me over, and some of the fabrics have been phenomenal. But I also will have some feedback because that's what I do.
Nice.
But to have a variety of Brooks tops that are working in these conditions is nice.
It is really nice.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. And thanks, Brooks, for having us. And 4 days left of competition here in Tokyo.